So I think I said this in the last bonus episode that I reached a state of maturity where I can't adopt any more cats. And then I fucking did.
Yeah. Yep.
I did.
You did.
I did, as I said in that episode, and as I told my kids, because they're like, okay. The reason why is because I have an emotional attachment to this one because I rescued her. You know, like, so it's just like there was Tiptoes, and then Charlie kind of fell into my lap. And as I had Charlie for like a week, and then I rescued this kitten. And now that kitten's almost, now that Charlie's getting, or by the time this is out, Charlie is fixed and recovered.
Yep.
So there's no danger of him impregnating Azula. Mm-hmm. So now she can come live with us.
That's right. There you go.
So that will have just started, I think, by the time this episode comes out. So hopefully it's going well. I don't know.
Yeah.
It shouldn't really change my operation here. I already have to buy cat food and litter in bulk anyway. So it doesn't.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. I don't even think I have to get another litter box.
It's not like when you adopt like multiple dogs, like, and I obviously all I've had is like big dogs, but like when you're like, here's another dog, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much more food to buy. But a cat, you're like, oh, okay, not too bad.
Yeah, it's just a big bag of kibble. I mean, I get like now Costco, which with Tiptoe, like when I first brought Tiptoes in, I get everything from Walmart. Costco didn't have shit for cats. It was like, hey, you like cats? Well, then fuck
Too
you.
bad.
Go somewhere else. Go to Walmart.
Yep.
Loser.
Yep.
But now they have
everybody
like,
at Costco are dog people.
They have like they have like a stack of like, 48 cans of wet food and big ass bags of kibble and stuff. And so it's like my infrastructure for cats is ready because I bought all this. I bought too much stuff when I got Tiptoes. Yep. So I had enough stuff for Charlie.
Yep. And
I realized how little they play with cat things. They just play with, you know what Charlie likes the most? He likes to, Oliver has all these like 5-finger mitten gloves that he likes to wear. Mm-hmm. Charlie loves those. Like half the time I see him walking through this room, he's got a fucking mitten in his mouth. Like he's bringing a mouse back to his family.
I hunted this.
Yeah. He was like, I took this.
This is mine.
The mittens specifically.
Yeah.
Different one. The white one, black one.
Right.
There's a multicolored one he likes.
He.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Moonwalking away with.
Yeah. He's like, got my mittens. Bye bye. Who knows what Azula will do? Azula's really fast. So she's so little because she was malnourished. Like she's barely over a pound. Hilariously, they're all going to be different sizes. Like Tiptoes is like a normal sized cat. Charlie's going to be big because he has these big ass feet. And Azula was malnourished when we found her. So she will probably not even be as big as Tiptoes. So I'll have like three, like a small, medium, and large cats.
Yeah.
But right now she's very fast. So when she's big, she's going to be like super fast.
Yeah.
Like they can, obviously people know the cats are very quick.
Oh yeah.
But like watching a kitten who is old enough to like have like coordination, like it's surprising how fast they can run when you think they have zero muscle on them. Yeah. Very fast. And so Paula's going to keep her sister Rainey. And then when Paula comes over here, she's going to bring Rainey with her so that the two of them can still play. And I'm an idiot. So I was like, will they still recognize each other? She's like, yeah.
It'd be fine.
Yeah. It's scent.
Right.
That thing, That's
right.
Yeah,
the thing they have. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be fun. So yeah. Anyway,
Sweet.
So that's happening. So,
nice.
But I did tell my kids, I looked them all and I said, I don't say this to my kids a lot because I'm a piece of shit, but I was like, I promise you, I promise we're not bringing home pets.
Yeah.
So now if I do, I'm officially a dick.
Yeah. Now you've broken a
trusted.
Promise.
Yeah, I broke a promise.
You broke a promise.
Well, like Paula's dad was like, you want to get one for every kid? And I was like, no.
Yeah, that's right.
He was like, 2, why stop there? And I was like, stop.
Keep on going.
Stop it.
That's right.
You just don't want to take them.
I found out not too far from us, there is a cat cafe. And I did not know that it existed.
What is that?
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a cafe with cats. And so you go in and it's
like you
a
get
restaurant.
Coffee? Okay, it's a restaurant.
You get coffee, scones, whatever. But they have cats that
like
wander.
A very poor health score, I guess.
I have no idea how it works.
Like a 48.
I mean, it has to be something. It has to be something
spelled
like,
out in paw prints.
I'm so curious. Like, I think it's like Japan where that's a big thing. But like, there's a few of them over here in the States, and like, It was a hot thing like 10 years ago, and they started popping up. But yeah, there's one not too far from us, and I was like, I wonder, like, I don't know that I'd ever eat anything from there. Maybe I would. Who knows? I don't know how this works.
Apparently, like, and I think I've mentioned this like in the other episode where I said I wouldn't do the thing I'm doing now. But like people, like I'm apparently in a minority of people who wants a cat. I go on Instagram and like all the stuff I see is people with cats, but that's just my algorithm making me feel normal. Like I know that like dogs are far more common and much less of it's still a problem, but like much less of like a shelter problem than cats. Because people love dogs and they love puppies, but do you remember
cats?
Remember when I had a dog?
Yeah.
Yep. I forget myself. Like what? Like I'll be sitting there. I'm like, I had a dog once.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. My kids. One of them said his name. Like, remember Oscar? I was like, I'm surprised you remember his name at all.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. So this particular cat cafe, it's a cozy cat lounge. It says relax and unwind with our kitties in a comfortable cat friendly environment. They have adoption services. So the cats that are there are adoptable. And they have a self-serve drink bar. Enjoy our complimentary drink bar featuring hot or iced coffee and a variety of teas and hot chocolate.
So it's a hangout space where you can cohabit with cats.
But I guess since they're not serving you food, maybe they're exempt from, there's just a Keurig health inspection. Yeah. They're just like, I don't know. We got drinks. Go get one, whatever. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How do they make money?
I have no idea. On adoptions and donations? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a $5 cover charge to get in.
Yeah, maybe. It's like you want a table. Like it's like those co-working spaces. Like if you can rent the table for an hour for $10.
You have an hour.
Yeah.
Go.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. My first thought was like, I don't know what surely the cats won't like socialize with you if you're constantly in and out, but like cats love smells. So you walk in and they're like, oh, where have you been?
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, they sniff you. And then if they're used to people being around, they grow up around people, then God, but that many cats, I imagine them coming in with new ones. And it's like, you're getting all of them dewormed and stuff, right? Like that's a lot of bills. And
I wonder what you do with like, if a cat bites a kid or scratches a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what's the waiver situation?
Right.
There's like signs posted probably that's like,
we're not liable.
We're not liable for a cat scratching you.
If you're dumb enough to corner the cat and antagonize it, then you get what you deserve.
Yeah. If your kid pulls the cat's tail, it is what it is.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But yeah, I was very shocked that there's one close.
Yeah, that's not a thing down here.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single cat in Willow.
No.
Can't be positive. Let me talk about Willow.
It was a different time. It was a time of destiny. A time when a child could tip the balance between good and evil.
Why, with my powers, with the strength of my great army, can you not find one little child?
A time for an unlikely hero named Willow.
Tell her I'm not gonna let anything happen to the baby.
You gotta get that baby to somebody.
I'm somebody.
A time of scoundrels.
What goes on here?
Uh-oh.
And a time of rebels.
You are great.
After them!
You're gonna get us killed. You're a great warrior and a swordsman. And you're 10 times bigger than I am, stupid.
Find the child. Find the child!
It was a time when courage could be found where you'd least expect it. A time when unearthly powers raged and good men risked their lives. A time of great adventure. From the creator of Star Wars and the director of Cocoon, Willow.
This being the 1988 film, not the Disney Plus reboot or whatever legacy sequel thing.
Yep.
That's not even on Disney. It's removed.
Yeah, it's been removed. It's been scrubbed.
Yeah. Was it that bad?
If you didn't see it, it doesn't exist.
So this was a rare opportunity where I did not pick the movie, and Paula was like, Willow's my favorite movie. And I was like, oh no. Because
like
it's
of all time, favorite movie of all time.
I don't know. People say favorite, and it's like I don't know. So I was like, okay,
all right.
And so I felt intense pressure, but I'm here to talk about its merits, but also why it doesn't connect it. This is more of a discussion about the thing we talk about all the time, which is like some things you need to have seen them at a young age, because Willow is a film for children. It's a film for kids. It is.
Yep.
I contend that. This is directed by Ron Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that. Story by George Lucas. That became evident pretty quick. Yep. Starring, I'm going to go by actual starring here, not the stupid billing. Warwick Davis is the title character. Willow, what the hell's his last name? Willow of Good.
Willow of Good?
Of Good, yeah.
Okay, great.
Handmaid's Tale over here. And then Val Kilmer's in this movie, Joanne Whalley. So basically, Willow is a hero's journey fantasy film that is hard to appreciate as a story if you have already seen The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The Nelwyn, which is just a race of dwarves. And it brought me back once we reach Willow's village. So like the whole thing is there's an evil sorceress. Prophecy, a child with a special birthmark is going to bring about her downfall. So it's a little bit of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They get the kid out of there. The kid gets put in a river like Moses. Yeah, I'm not going to fault Willow for ripping off the Bible, but basket down the river.
Yep.
River goes to Willow, and Willow's like, oh my God. And they're like, oh, it's one of the giants or whatever they call them, like the big people, babies. Like, what do we do? And they find out, basically what's going on. We're going to return her to her kingdom, to someone who can actually take care of her and protect her, because we can't do that. And so, a little bit of Lord of the Rings there. Once we got into Willow's village, where it's just a whole race of dwarves, I remembered something. I'm not going to go pull the clip because I'm not that hardworking anymore. But I've said on this podcast before, in the early days, someone should make a film that is 100% just a dwarf cast.
Mm-hmm.
It's never mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, which at the time, I think I was just kind of shit posting. Like, wouldn't that be funny? But now it's like it's accidentally like a progressive idea for me to be like, it shouldn't be mentioned, man. But like, I'm not going to take credit for having a good reason to think of that. I just thought it'd be interesting for an entire movie. There's not a single, they're all little people, but the story is just a romantic comedy or a workplace comedy or like a crime story. Yeah. Something that could be taken absolutely seriously. Yeah. And so we get to Willow's village and I realize like, oh, well, all right. Like, this isn't quite my idea, but it's like, okay, but here we are. Like, for large chunks of the film, every actor in frame is a dwarf. Yep. And so I was proud of myself and also like, oh, damn it. Like, I ripped off Willow. I didn't even think about that. So had I seen Willow when I was a kid, as I should have,
you would have known.
I would have known.
Sure.
So the reason it's for, like I said, it becomes evident that the story is by George Lucas. He didn't write the screenplay, but it definitely sounds like a George Lucas thing. This was post, are all the Star Wars out by now? This was post Star Wars. So, yeah. I think this was in between. This was like in between Indiana Jones films. There's some really good effects in here. There's two characters who are super fucking annoying that are basically like, shrunken people, like Ant-Man type people. Yeah. Maybe about half as tall as my phone, if that. And they have these like squeaky voice. Have you seen this? I didn't even ask you. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's been over a decade or more. Yeah.
Yeah. So those two are really annoying, and I'm fairly certain they were dubbed in post to have those squeaky little voices, those little helium voices. Because most of what they do is just, oh, hey, what are you doing? Oh. And like the whole comedy is like, oh, they have squeaky voices, but they're not saying any jokes.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I can't laugh at, like, I don't think that's funny.
They're just reacting to things.
They're just reacting, but
with a funny voice.
Their presence in the film, there are plenty of complicated VFX shots that where they're in there. And I was just like, I applaud the effort, because in 1988 to composite them, like that's the big VFX achievement of the movie is they're comped into shots, wide shots with camera movement. And they're comped in pretty well, like pretty good light match, like not perfect shadow match or anything, but like an impressive level of successful compositing. Sure. And so every time they're talking, and I hate that. It's like looking at those twins from Transformers. You're like, God, I wish you'd shut up, but
I hate this.
Your very existence is a marvel.
Yeah, right.
You know,
you look great.
Yeah, you look great. Just that talking.
Yeah, just stop.
Just that part when you talk, sweetheart. You look good. Just stop talking.
That's right.
So, like I said, it's hard to watch it and not just feel like I'm betraying Frodo Baggins by engaging with the story, because it's a little person who leaves his peaceful, idyllic village where there's not really crime or any threat from whatever, and willingly enter a land of, of different races and more dangerous conditions, and, take this MacGuffin straight to the evil, powerful being that wants to kill you and enslave everybody. But I chalk it up just to like George Lucas really likes Joseph Campbell. And so of course that would be the structure and the basic story of this movie. So I consider it a product of its time. I can't really recommend it to anyone who's listening, unless they are a child who has not seen a lot of movies. I would have preferred to watch this with my kids, pre Lord of the Rings, pre a lot of things. Like I get like, it's like watching John Carter after having watched, decades of cinema. You're like, oh, this is cool. I just feel like I've seen it before, and it's not Willow's fault that I didn't see it first. But then again, maybe it is that it wasn't universally praised to where I would have seen it sooner.
I would argue, there's an element of like seeing it later after more successful or, whatever fantasy films does knock it down. But at the same time, this exists in a weird time where it is post Lord of the Rings books, and it is post like the animated Lord of the Rings, right? So like there were enough Lord of the Rings, like there's enough Lord of the Rings to know this was knocking it off before Peter Jackson's films were created. Yeah, you're right. So it's not like it just somehow predated it and then became irrelevant. It didn't predate it. You know what I mean? Like it did ride on the coattails of that success. John Carter, the film post dates it all, but the source material predates it all.
Predates most of cinema.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird because it's the inverse of the John Carter problem. So I would say the problem with this, and again, I've only seen it once. I saw it a decade or so ago. Don't remember a lot about it other than the feeling of like, I've seen all this before. It feels like Lord of the Rings, but worse. And I would have been in my, I'm just going to say mid-20s when I saw it. That wasn't the right time to see it either. I should have seen this at 8 for me to have been impressed by it. And also like even stuff like Val Kilmer, which, he's universally praised for this role. Like Matt Mardigan was like a huge deal for a lot of people. And I'm going like, but it's like freaking Aragorn by way of Jack Sparrow. Like it's just a smarmier Aragorn. But I've seen it. You know what I mean? I saw those things before. So he's great, but Madmartigan isn't something that I've never seen. It's just like two things remixed. And that's,
he's Val Kilmer's a high point in the movie, but like everything that's charming about him and that I like about watching him is sort of anachronistic to the film. He feels too modern to be in this world.
Agreed.
Which is a small complaint, but it's just like, well, if you want me to kind of buy this world, he feels like a man out of time a little bit. But
if you compare this to something like Jack Sparrow, where like Jack Sparrow is smarmy and whatever else, but he never felt anachronistic.
Right.
He feels like uber charismatic.
Yeah.
And, super like likable and commands the screen.
He feels as intelligently above most of his peers as like Da Vinci Leonardo da Vinci would be to his people, like
to his peers. Yeah.
He's very smart and he's a genius and he is forward thinking.
Yeah.
But he's not a time traveler.
Yeah, exactly.
He talks like he's part of that time. He just doesn't fall prey to, I've also seen Ever After recently. So I'm thinking about Da Vinci, but like, he doesn't like, he never said anything silly like there's going to be cars in the future,
Yeah.
So Sparrow feels that way. Like, no, I just don't fall prey to the same assumptions that most people do. And that's kind of how Madmartigan is. But with a little bit too much of a modern affect to how he talks and what he believes. A big thing in this movie too, and this is just a budget thing, I'm sure. But like, it doesn't feel like a big world. Lord of the Rings feels massive.
Yeah.
And like there's millions of people in Middle Earth.
Yeah.
And this feels like a series of sets in England and New Zealand.
Yeah.
Again, that's a scale issue. But again, if you're trying to sell me on this rich, dense world, are there other villages of dwarves? Because I don't think there are.
Yeah.
There's like the one castle where the sorceress lives. She has like 36 employees, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
And like most of the time she's on screen, like there's no one there. I'm just like, there's not really, I'm not that afraid of her. I think that they can take her. Her castle's pretty small.
It's interesting you bring that up because playing it back in my mind's eye, it is a very small, like underpopulated world.
Yeah.
Whereas if you compare it to like the armies of Sauron, where he's got people of different, like he's got all different types of people from all over Middle Earth coming in to,
the
help.
Easterlings and all the wild men that live nearby and are frustrated with Gondor. The headcanon is like, I guess things really do suck in this kingdom. Like people are probably starving to death and not reproducing, but like, it's another one of those things where you go, this just feels like a movie.
So what it feels like to me is two things. One, it feels less like high fantasy like Lord of the Rings and more like pulp fantasy like Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Which, is weird because there's not like a Conan pulp character in this, but it has that sensibility, which was like big at that point in the 80s.
Yeah.
These like, like pulp movies, that were like almost like metal inspired, like, pulp stories, which something like right now, like even He-Man, like Masters of the Universe is like a pulp story.
Yeah.
It's a barbarian in a loincloth that fights, a skull. It's like the most metal thing you can think of in a medieval time period. And so it feels weird in that way, like a mashup of things. And this feels more like that kind of fantasy than the high fantasy that Lord of the Rings or say Narnia is. And then the other thing that it reminds me of is, and this is a weird analogy, but stick with me. One of the things that I have a problem with is things like The Boys or Invincible. It's not that I don't care for them, but it's that they have a high bar to clear in that I don't want you. I know that you can only exist on the backs of, decades, almost a century of comic book characters that inform the choices you're making. And at a certain point, it feels like parody, even if you're trying to just tell a new story about a new superhero. At a point, it feels like you're parodying it because it can only exist as a counterpoint or or some sort of like complementary point to something that already exists. Mm-hmm. And so, so the weird thing about like those kind of stories is it's hard for me to latch on because I'm like, oh, that's just your Superman character. Oh, that's just your version of Batman. That's your version of Spider-Man. And it's hard for me to then latch on to new characters because I know where they come from. Yeah. And so like a writer sat down and goes, well, I need a character that's kind of like Batman. He's a dark, okay, let me write this guy. And then you just create the guy, but it's only because you knew you needed it because you know Batman is needed. Mm-hmm. And so in a weird way, this feels like that. It's like, I only know that this story needs this thing because Lord of the Rings exists. Yeah. I only know that this story needs this thing because I'm writing on the back of C.S. Lewis and Tolkien and, whoever else that's like, even Burroughs, like I'm writing on the backs of these authors and going, what does my story then need? Mm-hmm. And then it feels like parody in a weird way, which is why you have something anachronistic like Mad Mardigan, who you're right. He feels anachronistic. And now that I'm saying this, it's because he kind of feels more like he belongs in Spaceballs. Yeah. Yeah. Than something like this. And that's a weird like thing that it's crossed over into parody. But I also haven't seen the movie in 10 years, so I could be wrong.
It's just entropy. The fact is I was born a year after this movie came out and my parents weren't into fantasy. And so this wasn't a VHS that was in my house. Yeah. Had it been, I would have seen it. Sure. I'd probably have nostalgia for it. Maybe I'd like Lord of the Rings less. Maybe I'd like it more, maybe I'd like it just the same, and that's, this was recommended to me by somebody who saw it first as a child. So it's nostalgia. The same reason why I resist the Goonies recommendations, because I just think like, even if I were to watch that, it's the same thing. It's like, you're asking me to retroactively appreciate something that has now been referenced or retreaded for decades since. Yeah. Like as dumb as this sentence sounds, I've seen Stranger Things. So I'm not really and it like I'm not that interested in watching the Goonies because it just feels like that same thing. Yeah. With less impressive production design and performances. Yeah, if you've seen those two things and Stand By Me, then what's the point of Goonies? What's the point of watching the Goonies? Yeah, and it's like as a 37-year-old man, like that's a film for children. Stand By Me takes that and turns it into like an R-rated drama. Yeah. It takes it into an R-rated horror. Yeah. And Stranger Things takes it into like a sci-fi, at least at some point was intended for some adults. So it kind of feels like Goonies is like a step back. Like, it's already been deconstructed and morphed into something new. Yeah. And it's not Stand By Me's fault. It's not my fault. It's just, it's just what happened. Yeah. Totally. I just didn't see the movie, but at the same time, I could tell somebody like, why, oh, you've never seen The Rescuers Down Under? You should watch it. Because I can honestly say it's worth seeing. It's not like we've had a bevy of animals rescuing children movies in Australia with what's his face playing the villain, George C. Scott. That's an excellent movie. I could tell people like The Great Mouse Detective. Yeah, if you've seen Sherlock Holmes, like the characters, but this is still its own thing that has not been overdone or retreaded. It's a worthy entry into interpretations of this literary character, right. I was gonna use the analogy of like The Sandlot, which I would say is in like my top 20 movies. Like I love The Sandlot. It's such a good movie. Yeah. But would I recommend it to an adult now who's never seen it? I don't know. I think it still stands up for sure. That's a good point. They won't love it with the way that I love it. Right. It's impossible for a 40-year-old to watch The Sandlot and love it
the way that I do.
Right.
Because I saw it when I was 7 or whatever. And like that movie like informed me, you know what I mean? Like it has more of a deep seated place that a 40-year-old can't possibly. So I'm like, I do think the movie's great. I don't think a 40-year-old could ever enjoy it the way that I can, because to me, it's a good movie. And on top of that, it reminds me of every good thing about my childhood. Yeah. It reminds me of like all the multiple times I've seen it, like those experiences all come back to me. Remember when I saw that on 4th of July? Hey, remember when I saw that in 7th grade history class for no reason one day? They just rolled the TV in and put it on. Yeah. Cool. Like those are memories that come to me because of that movie that somebody who's never seen it will never have that experience with it. Yeah. But I do think that the Sandlot stands on its own, but you could also make the same thing and go, well, in terms of like boys coming of age, you know, like camaraderie movies, has that been done before? And you can point to all the movies we just talked about and go, yeah, it's been done. Yeah. But like, you know, it's just a childhood favorite. Yeah. And so it gets grandfathered in a lot of ways. Yeah. Willow may be the same for somebody where they go, look, I saw this. I'm reminded of every good thing about my childhood when I watch it.
Exactly.
Cool. Great. Good for you.
Yeah.
Because I saw it at 25 and I can't possibly have that same connection to it.
Yeah. Like the Sandlot, like you said, like the Sandlot, like I've watched it multiple times recently because I have kids and my kids like it.
Yeah.
You know, and so like I can appreciate it as a good movie, as just a good 90s movie. Yeah. And you know that my kids can understand and also think is fun.
Yes.
That is full, but like, you know, those are genuinely good child actor performances.
Oh yeah,
like genuinely great. Just really, you know, but while still being like, you know, a family film. And like Willow, it's like my kids would not watch Willow unless I was like, hey, I've seen this. I think it's pretty cool. You should check it out. Yep. You know, but like my kids aren't going to thumb through Disney Plus and see Willow and be like, oh, that looks cool and watch it. And if they asked me like, what do you think? I would be like, yeah, you might like it. It's a kid's movie, you know?
That's right.
Well, that's Willow. So
okay, that's Willow. Yeah. Speaking of the Sandlot, because we talked about it, have you heard about this new comedy series called Dugout Dads?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick Renna created it.
Yeah.
And it's coming soonish.
Where's it going to be?
Maybe Disney Plus. I can't remember now.
Man, yeah, I'm going to watch that for sure.
Yeah, but it stars like all of the kids grown up.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Yeah. He brought back basically every one of those kids.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they
that's fun, but it's not.
Yeah, they're not playing the roles from the Sandlot, but they're all going to be dads of kids on this team or whatever.
It's kind of like how Undeclared was like, this is a different show. It's not a sequel. Spiritual successor.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I saw when I think Patrick Renna had posted something and it was just like a photo of him and his wife on the show is played by Danielle Fishel.
Yeah.
And I showed it to Sarah because, you know, she loves Danielle Fishel. And so I showed her the photo and she goes, yeah, he did create this, didn't he? And I was like, yeah.
Be nice to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'll be checking that out for sure.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, he definitely decided who should I cast as
my wife,
my romantic partner here.
Yeah. Who do I think I can get to agree to make out with me and share a bed with me?
Right.
You know, like who on screen has to tell me I'm a good man?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. No, I'll be checking that out for sure.
Yeah, man.
I have a couple of TV shows, but I don't have a lot to say. Hey, let's talk about Hacks.
Oh, God, look at this.
She has risen!
No, no. I was never dead.
Hallelujah.
Wow. I have been told that I cannot so much as perform one single joke, or I will go to jail.
Watch the hair!
Everything that we have worked on for the past 5 years is gone. They're not just rewriting me, they are erasing me.
We're gonna win every day.
You are gonna be remembered for comedy. Because you're a comedian.
You know, when you're away from the spotlight, You have time to think about what really matters. Bam! The spotlight! God, I am glad to be back!
She's an artist.
Ah, here we go! This will be historic. Oh.
Who's next?
Did we have sex? I'll just save the best for last. And that will be my legacy.
Again, I think I've spoken about this show on here before, but
I think so.
Hacks just ended.
Okay.
So Hacks just had its 5th and final season. It is a Max original.
Did it go out on its own terms?
Yeah, it did.
Hacks was not axed by Max?
No, Hacks was not axed by Max.
Okay, great.
So yeah, this is a show created by Lucia Anello, Paul W. Downs, and Jen Statsky, starring Gene Smart, Hannah Einbinder. Paul W. Downs is also an actor in this show. Great cast of people. Megan Stalter. Yeah, great cast of people. 47 episodes. So it just ended in late May. And so, yeah, I was recommended, the show was recommended to me by my friend MK, loves Hacks. He's like, you should check it out if you haven't. Gene Smart's great. And I was like, yeah, Gene Smart is great. Like, I just like Gene Smart, but like, this is one of those, like, here's what Gene Smart can do,
Yeah.
Because it's very, she plays this stand-up comedian named Deborah Vance, who's, a woman in her whatever 60s or 70s, as Gene Smart is, and just a very like, who at the beginning of the series is in a Las Vegas residency. And just has settled into a pattern of just telling the same jokes for, just doing the same old thing. She's super rich. Her portfolio's diversified. She's got this like QVC line. She runs all these businesses. So she's a full blown enterprise. But she's not the kind of force to be reckoned with creatively that she used to be. And upon coming into a partnership with Hannah Einbinder's character, Ava, who's a young, late 20s comedy writer who is in trouble for an insensitive tweet, needs work, can't get any good jobs. She's set up with Deborah Vance to write for her or something. And then these two, and she's young and progressive, and Gene and Deborah is very kind of like, seen more of the world, just more set in her ways. She's a boomer, so like they have like, some differences and like just generational things. And Deborah Vance is very prickly, does not trust a lot of people. Ava puts her foot in her mouth a lot, but she has like these high-minded, like creative ideals about like the kind of important stuff that she wants to write. And so at first she kind of resents that she's pairing up with Deborah Vance, but she's like, we can, basically over the course of the series encourages her to do bolder and bolder things with her career. And Deborah kind of teaches her, obviously like, here's what I know. And here's what it takes to make it in this industry, basically. And so over the course of the series, there's like this kind of rivalry between them a little bit. Some unexpected twists and turns, some backstabbing, some one-upmanship. What I love about the 5th season was because we finally have them working as a unit. Because they have a common enemy, a common goal, basically to overcome. And each season, just like a TV show should, ups the stakes. There's more to lose. There's a bigger platform, and there's bigger forces that are kind of working against them. And so I think it ends really well. The show, great writing, especially if you like shows about the entertainment industry. If you liked the studio at all, it's not executed on the same like filmmaking level as the studio. That's a different kind of thing. But shows like this, shows about the industry always get made because that's what executives like. They like
that's what the world
TV
they know.
Shows about them.
That's right.
But it's a really great show, and this ending was actually really beautiful and emotional by the end. Like the finale is super poignant. And like I got moved to tears. This is a comedy show.
Nice.
But it delivers on the drama when it matters. And that's why like it's not just about writing jokes. Like that's where your lead actors being really good is key, because it grounds the whole thing. It's not just this silly madcap adventure. These are real people in just, in a silly industry, but dealing with real shit and things that are emotionally very heavy. So I having seen the whole series now, if you've never seen Hacks, I'd put it on your list. I think it's worth it. Great stuff. Gene Smart is brilliant. And they really did something special with this show.
Nice.
So yeah, I enjoy Hacks.
Nice. Okay.
I also finished, also 5 seasons, Fargo.
Let me tell you what I see.
Trouble, oh, trouble.
I see a woman who outsmarted 2 kidnappers.
Are you okay, ma'am?
Never do you mention she is a tiger.
She's claiming it never happened.
Never what now?
She's a wolf in sheep's clothing, that one.
Honestly, I'm embarrassed by all the fuss.
There is no one on God's green earth who is a greater enforcer of the laws of this land than Roy Tillman.
Why do I feel like there's a but here?
But you got any weaponry back there?
Got an air horn? All you people sneaking around here pretending you're so nice, but I know who you really are. I'm a winner.
That don't sound accurate.
I'm a winner!
Yeah, my ASS. Better sleep with both eyes open.
Cut it out! Cut it out! Cut it out!
It's good to see you again, Mrs. Lyon.
That wasn't me.
First of all, I recognize you. You were kidnapped. And for the record, that's just reality.
With all due respect, we've got our own reality.
You can't... That's not a thing.
FX's Fargo premieres November 21st on FX. Stream on Hulu.
So this is the FX series. Yeah, FX, but by way of Hulu. This is the anthology show, the black comedy that was, kind of based somewhat or spiritual successor to the Coen Brothers film. So it and created by Noah Hawley. And so Fargo, basically a rotating cast of characters, very little overlap between seasons, crime stories, typically in the northern states, whether it's North Dakota, most of them are in Minnesota. After watching 5 seasons of this show, it's hard not to appreciate the filmmaking, because there's obviously a shitload of like deliberate artistic choices that are made in these shows. Same with the writing, and the acting is always super great, very intentional and specific. I'm definitely ready for I think I jumped into some animation shows after this, just because I was like, I just need some stuff to entertain me, like, because it can be exhausting, especially to binge it. Binging, it's been a chore.
Sure.
I respect it though. It's just, it's another one of those things where just like, for a 10 or 12 hour long episodes with ad breaks, by the way. And without continuity through seasons, like you're building to something each season. So that's always kind of cool, but not always satisfying how stuff ends. Cause of course, being the show it is, like people get killed. And so like you invest in people and they die or like the wrong person survives, and that's television and that's, drama sometimes. Yeah. But as a viewer, you're like, I just want to feel like I won, or someone good won, or like the system didn't beat somebody down. And some people live, but it's like it never in quite the clean the clean way you want characters to succeed, like Hacks, like they win.
Yeah.
Okay. And Fargo is just a different beast. So I don't want to like criticize it for what it's not. It's just, you know, you got to know what you're getting into, which is just, you know, so I can't really recommend Fargo to like my brother Peter. I feel like he wouldn't enjoy it or, you know, get much out of what is good about it.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, okay, what the hell's the point of that? Or, you know, there's usually some kind of like supernatural element to Fargo, like just enough to where it's like, but that's like a Deus Ex Machina or like, yeah, but otherwise that guy would have died. It's just kind of weird. And that, so you always find that like there's some kind of like folk angle to it. Like there's a character in the 5th season who's basically immortal. Like he's lived for 200 years or something.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, that's a really big, lofty idea. And so digging into that takes a long time away from the main story. And of course, it doesn't really come to much.
Sure.
Like it does in small ways, but like you kind of just go like, by the time it's over, you're like, but what does that mean? You know, like I'm just not getting out of it as the average viewer.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have to have read like that. You'd have to have been, I feel like you'd go to Noah Hawley and he'd be like, oh yeah, I read like this folk story, like in when I grew up in Minnesota. And so like I took that idea in here and it's like, most people haven't read that,
familiar with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, that's what makes you an artist, but that's what makes your work less accessible.
Inaccessible.
Or so it's like, good for you. I don't get it. So I'm here to see, okay, but with the gun battle, the real things that are happening, I'm invested in how these characters end up, because you've at least done a good job with that.
Sure.
But it exists in this like morally ambiguous, blurring the lines of reality and what is meant to be taken literally and what is meant to be symbolic. And I'm just like, cool. That mixture, I guess, just doesn't work for me all the time.
Sure.
So
Makes
you know,
sense.
we've taken that bleakness and that kind of oddness of Fargo, and we've turned it like we're gonna recapture that same feeling through story ambiguity. And I'm like, well, yeah. So Fargo, well made, good show. Don't recommend.
Not for everybody. Yep.
Good for you. I don't get it.